everyone, Happy New Year! Why don't we kick off the new year by talking about my favorites from December? I've already filmed a 2018 favorites. I did both a eyeshadow palettes favorites of 2018 and a regular products of 2018 video in case you're curious. I'll link to those down below, but this one is going to be like my last monthly favorites for 2018, so let's dive right in. I almost hate to bring this palette up because I've mentioned it so many times and in so many videos, but I have to talk about it because it's the palette I use the most throughout December, and that is the Faced Gingerbread Spice palette. I have no complaints about this palette. There is nothing wrong with it. I think it's a beautiful palette, and I've actually just discovered that it's sold out, which is surprising to me because I don't feel like a lot of holiday palettes actually sell out nowadays. I feel like brands are putting out so much in terms of quantity for holiday collections that they're perhaps not actually seeing all their products sell out, which I'm sure they're not happy about. But this one has actually sold out, and I can see why. It's just, honestly, the perfect palette. It's perfect for the holidays because you're getting those gold and warm tones that most people gravitate towards, I feel like, for the holidays. But I also really like the punches of color in here. The hot magenta down here, the bright deep orange, the purple. All of those colors are absolutely fantastic, and I feel like most holiday palettes don't actually put them together in a collection. I feel like they'll choose like maybe the purple side of things or just the orange side of things, but they won't put both. So I'm really happy to see it in this palette. And I've gone back to this so many times throughout December and I never got tired of it. And I think that's really important to mention because I can use a palette over and over again, and then eventually I'm like, okay, I'm kind of done with you. I want to move on to something different. I never felt like I wanted to move on to something different with this palette, and I brought in all kinds of other palettes to use with it as well, but the basis of most looks was derived from this palette. I really like pulling in my Stila glitters to put that all over the lid and then use the outer corner colors from this palette to really deepen it up, and that was a beautiful look every single time. But honestly, I've talked about this enough that you're probably tired of hearing about it, but it truly has just been like an outstanding product of 2018 and definitely for my December. In sticking with eyeshadow palettes, there's one I want to talk about, but I first need to say that I haven't actually used the entirety of the palette yet. I've only used 3 or 4 specific shades in order to deepen up the look on other eyeshadow looks that I'm creating. So I'm talking about the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill Ring the Alarm palette. This is the palette that I thought was very red tone when I originally bought it. It's not. It's more of an orange, dark, purple red kind of look, but I haven't actually used most of the colors in here yet. I don't know why, I just haven't gotten around to it. But the reason I'm mentioning it in this video is because I've been using these 4 bottom shadows in so many different eyeshadow looks that I've put together with other palettes, not the Gingerbread Spice one, but just other looks in general, because these are all matte shadows down here and they're the perfect tone to just deepen up a red look or a purple look or something that is a little bit more golden orange brown. Now Siren here does have a little bit of shimmer flecks in it, but they don't actually show up on the eye, so that's great. But the quality on these shadows is fantastic, which is why I've gone back to it so many times. However, I can't really speak about the rest of the palette because I haven't used the rest of the shadows yet. I will at some point, but for now I have to point out that these 4 shadows on the bottom are excellent and I've really enjoyed them. So the third palette that I'm going to talk about is by Quo, and I didn't actually realize I had so many palettes to talk about this month, but that's just how my December worked out, I guess. So this is the Quo Highlight and Glow palette, and they released this as part of their Holiday 2018 collection. When I first saw it, I was pretty intrigued because I really like the sort of fractured look that is imprinted across the powders. And then when I looked even deeper, I noticed that the color selection here was really unique. Now, Quo is the Shoppers Drug Mart home brand, and they put out a lot of product. They do seasonal collections all the time, but I feel like they can stick to really safe colors. And I'm not really one for safe colors, so when I saw this and it kind of veered away from the normal side of the color spectrum for the makeup world, I was super intrigued. The shades in here are glorious. They're so much fun to wear. This one over here is kind of like a silver with a purple reflect to it. This one's more of a gold more of a white gold. This one up here is like a peach pink. It's so beautiful. The one down here I think is the one I'm wearing today. It has a little bit more of a pink with pearl, and these ones here, which look quite deep, actually do work on me, but I think they would also work on deeper skin tones. I have to wear these very lightly and buff them out quite a bit just so that the color doesn't look too much like a bronzer where I would normally apply highlighter. But I've been so happy with this palette, and even more so because the highlighting palette from last year by Quo was a total dud for me. I just did not like it. I felt like the quality was really kind of patchy and chalky, but I don't feel that way at all about this one. This one is smooth, buttery, and pigmented. There are some shades in here that are a little bit softer than others. I feel like the one I'm wearing today is not as reflective, but that's okay. I don't need everything to be an absolutely booming highlight on my face. And this one gives me so much variety just because there's 6 pans and they're all really different. Like there's nothing in here that looks like it's the same color as another one, which is great for me because there's some palettes that I've tried, like highlighting palettes, where every color looks the same. And I'm specifically thinking about that ABH Dream palette where every shade looked pink on me. This one has a huge variety and I think it's wonderful. So if you follow me on Instagram stories, you might have seen the saga of me trying to finish a lipstick. And it's very difficult to finish a lipstick, but I've been trying my best to finish off this MAC lipstick just because it's kind of old, but it's also very seasonally appropriate. And this is a MAC's Russian Red. This is how much I have left of it. It's just a little baby nub at this point. And while I am trying to finish it up because I do want to, you know, like phase it out of my collection because I do have other very similar reds to this, I have to point out how this is just such a perfect red. It's an absolutely beautiful color that has stood the test of time because I've been wearing this for several years now and I always love putting it on. I feel like it's such a powerful, fiery red color. And I love wearing it during December. Now I am definitely trying to finish this up and I'm hoping I can finish it up within like the next few months of 2019. But I feel like it's never ending at this point. If you are looking for a really good blue-based matte red lipstick, I would highly recommend you pick this up. I feel like it looks good on everybody out there. And while it is a matte formula, and I feel like a lot of people years ago, myself included, used to feel like MAC's matte formula was too dry overall, I have to say that in comparison to like the liquid lipsticks that are on the market right now, this basically feels like a cream finish. So my mind has changed a lot about how lipsticks feel on my lips over the years, and this one is very comfortable to wear, and it really is just the perfect red shade. And the very last thing I have to talk about is this Nivea Care Cream. This is their Intensive Nourishment Non-Greasy Cream, and I was gifted this at a PR event in March or April. I got a whole bunch of Nivea products after I attended the Tessa Virtue Nivea event. So excited to meet her. That was a life-changing experience. But they gave us a whole bunch of products on the way out, and this is one that I've put at my bedside table, and I've been using it so much throughout the colder months. It really is non-greasy, which is fantastic because I hate putting stuff on my skin and then my clothes stick to my skin. It's just like the most uncomfortable feeling ever. And this stuff, it's a little bit sticky. I mean, I don't think a cream will ever be completely non-sticky, but it's very low in terms of stickiness. And I actually really like the smell of Nivea's products. I feel like years ago I would have thought that they were too grandma-esque or maybe too mother-esque, but I really do like them now. And this cream, I'm almost done it at this point, but it's just been really good throughout the colder months. The older I get, the more I'm realizing that I'm starting to get quite dry, not just on my face, but also like my hands and my legs. And I've just been putting this on whenever I feel like it's starting to get a little bit parched in certain areas on my body. And yeah, I've just really enjoyed it, so I wanted to talk about it. I do also have the sort of tub with a twist off lid. I think that's the more intensive version of this one, and I keep that sort of on the coffee table in the main room, and I'll reach for that if I need it. But this is the one that's almost done, so I wanted to talk about this one because it has been absolutely excellent. So that's going to be it for my favorites for December 2018. Let me know about something that you enjoyed throughout the month, or like let me know something specific, like maybe what lipstick you wore on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, or maybe what eyeshadow palette you used around the holidays. Give me something specific and tell me why you wore it. I like hearing about that kind of stuff. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I'll catch you next time. Bye!